Good morning. I wanted to do this little video because I've had these big, huge, heart-opening and wonderful life-enhancing experiences through the process of healing my childhood conditioning and my false beliefs and having had partners that did not treat me well. Now, it's this. It feels so good to not be with those awful men. It feels so good to have a narc-free life. It feels so good to be in my own company. It feels so good to be with people who support me, who love me, who laugh, who enjoy, who have insight and wisdom and intelligence and can offer conversation, who listen, who give exchange. Exchange, because if you've ever been in a situation in which people do not respect you or want to hear what you have to say and poo-poo you and disrespect you and actually look at you like you are something so disgusting that they want to eradicate you from their life, and yet they want to also torture you, it feels so good to be in your own company. It does. It feels so good. I'm having tea. Good afternoon. No, good morning. Morning. Not mouring, but one could say, yeah, it's a good morning to the death of that awful past. Good morning. So the next time I meet a woman who is sad because she doesn't have a partner and she really wants one, and then it's that missing that partner that doesn't have the partner. I was just looking at how that made me have a little crown, but I think I'll leave it because it's cute, isn't it? Anyway, the next time I see a woman or have conversations with anybody who's like, oh, I'd really like to find somebody and my life will be complete. Well, that was my illusion. So I'm thinking that if I design this life, if it was my design to have the troubled childhood that didn't actually provide the right cultivation for me, if I chose it, then what is the positive? And the positive is the joy that I feel discovering now my calling and my talents and focusing on those rather than bemoaning the loss of something or the lack of something. So any woman who would be in a situation of, oh gosh, I really would like to have a man partner, I'm like, I've had them. I've had one marriage, I had a second marriage, and then a third long term that lasted longer than the first marriage, but not quite as long as the second marriage. And I have this to say: it's better to be by yourself than in those situations. It's like, you don't know what you have. Oh, okay, you don't know what you have until you realize what you don't have. I don't have this miserable person in my life anymore, coming home angry. I don't have this miserable person in their life acting arrogant like they're holier than thou. I don't have this miserable person in my life that disrespects me and who wants to drink and get drunk. And it's like so wonderful not to have some flaccid dick trying to force themselves on me. It's so wonderful. It is so wonderful. So I think, okay, well, if I designed my life like that, then I did a really good job because I'm so much happier without these men. So I had this conversation with my friend, Kim, And it is this: there are no good single men. None. None. At all. They are, men are in my age group. There are plenty of broken men. There are plenty of abusive men that women have ditched. And like myself, they're miserable fucks. And I am happy because they're not in my life. And I have this wonderful life ahead of me, and they're not in it. Oh, but if a woman has never had a relationship, I suppose she would think that one would be the cat's meow. But this cat knows better. The life I'm leading is so much better with me in it, without these guys. So the fantasy I have is that someday I will meet my twin flame, and he will have had a life, and his wife, maybe she died. And that's the only way. But this is what okay, if a woman dies and I meet the widower, in the past, I used to be, oh gosh, I feel sort of sorry for them. Well, now I'm like, what did he do to make her life fucking miserable? Okay, I won't swear anymore. I won't swear. I'm going to say just this, honestly, that when I meet a widower, and I met these men, there is something drastically wrong with them. And the woman probably couldn't get divorced, and slowly she died. Maybe that's not true for all the widowers. That is true for the widowers I have met. They have been awful people, and to their women. And the woman killed herself with a slow death just to get out of the relationship. I was not going to do that. I love life too much. And I also have children, adult children. One of them is distant, my daughter, and I've already apologized profusely for having divorced her narc dad. And I realized finally that she does have some mild narcissistic qualities. So because of that, I can love her as an individual, and I can recognize the work and the love that I put into raising her. And then I can be like, she's on her own. But my son and daughter-in-law, they have a little grandbaby, and so I get to be a grandmother, and that is really precious because they are loving. My son was always much more cuddly than my daughter, even before I divorced her father. And he's still the same person, simple. There's nothing going on between the 2 ears other than where's my penis, where's my chicken, and where's my vacation, and where's my paycheck, So there's not a whole lot going on there. Very materialistic. I was attracted to him initially because he was nice, but that's the disguise of the narcissist, and he had all the tendencies there. Jealous of my friends, angry if I wasn't where he wanted me to be exactly when he wanted me to be there, accusing me of leading other men on, the usual narcissistic foolishness, because they have egos, they have self-worth that's minuscule, and then they are so angry at life for giving them a bad hand that they want to punish you. They're not fun. And so having had serial narcissists, because that was my conditioning, to always make good and try to appease and do what you can to have the other person feel more secure about themselves. And now I'm like, forget that. I have a life to live, and it's the one I am living now. So women, if you have a partner that you love, and if there's things that you're not happy with that partner, don't ditch that partner. Make everything go as good as you can as long as you're not being abused, as long as you're not being disrespected, as long as you're not being made to suffer for their inability to be happy. So there you have it. So what we were talking about, this is it. There are no good single men, because all the good single men are young, too young for me, and the ones in my age group are married. Because marriage keeps men and women happy as long as it's a healthy marriage. You know, there was a poll, and the happiest people, I think, are the single women who have been through shitty relationships. and have gotten through, and they're happier because of it. It's like the diamond we've become because of the pressure we were under, the joy of every single day, the joy of waking up in your beautiful bed and your beautiful space, being able to do as you please, not selfishly. You know, I have people in my life that I extend my love to, and I'm looking actually at a nursing home up the street, an assisted living home, because I'm thinking that I am going to go there and read a book to them, or just visit somebody that doesn't have visitors, you know, and then just go and be kind to a person. So that is something that I have just recently had an inkling to do, and I'm going to do it because it's no skin off of my back, and I'll be able to read to somebody who perhaps would enjoy it, or have a conversation with somebody, or perhaps just hang out or whatever and visit with somebody that doesn't have visitors. You know, adopt a grandparent, because my grandparents are dead. My father's 91 and my mom is 86, and my mother was the narc one, but now she is just an old woman with her beautiful husband, my dad, and they're living their life and taking care of their garden, their home and their garden. And they have a little pool that they exercise in. So, you know, that was them. They were born 1930, 1935, post-Depression era, and they grew up with a lot of frugality, a lot of nothing, a lot of having to skimp and save. And so they learned how to save their money and work very hard, but they didn't teach their children the basics of life. We were on our own at 18, and we had to be, because otherwise we were lambasted and verbally abused. And that did not help with creating a foundation for young adulthood. But if I designed it, I designed it. If that was my karma, gosh, I burned off some really shitty karma. And then I look at all the men and the financial losses that I've had. Okay, I burned off that karma. Contract ripped up, done. Because I left every single man with the money. I didn't do the usual alimony thing or the I own all of this. I did the sign off. In fact, my children's father, when we went to the bank, I signed the condominium over to him. And he looked at me, not much going on in here, as simpleton as he actually was and could still be from my observation. Likeable simpleton as long as you're not married to him. He's a likeable simpleton. He goes, my lawyer told me you're shooting yourself in the foot for doing this. And I was like, shooting myself in the foot, huh? Au contraire. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm doing this so that you can afford a house for our children, and so that you won't get all pissed off. I'm not shooting myself in the foot. You can tell her I'm doing this with 100% knowing that you're the father of my children, and you're going to take the condo and the equity that we built together, and you're going to put it into a house for them to live in. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's the society that we live in. fools, fools all. And the third husband, oh, I could have had so much of this. My higher self spirit was like, no, you're going to take a pittance and you're going to learn humility, and you're going to learn how to actually get by on less. And you're going to actually learn how to let other people help you. And I have. And it was hard. That was a hard ego trip. But I did it. I succeeded. I feel good about that. So, yes, life is wonderful. And I'm at peace, very content. And because I've had these men in my life, bossy, they eat a lot, they break things, they're big, they require a lot of attention. It's so good not to have one in my life. So ladies, if you don't have a man in your life and you think you want one, think again. Any questions? What else can I tell you? I fantasize. I fantasize about a man. Sure I do. I fantasize. I'm like, oh yes, one day I'll meet a man who likes to do what I like to do and has a conversation with me and has insight and is able to bring out the best in me while I bring out the best in them, and somebody who is health-oriented and family-oriented and has a good emotional maturity and the ability to have a conversation and work things out and have discussions that are mature and are at a high level. Dream on. Dream on, cat. Dream on. It's like he doesn't exist. And if he does exist, he's married. And I'm not going to ruin a relation. He's not going to ruin his marriage. And besides, you know something? I have a friend now, I won't say who has a man in her life just for the sex. Well, this is what I have to say. I have had so much sex with a man that I do not miss it at all. And here's the other thing, men. There's a reason why the vagina smells like fish. And it's because of the semen. Ta-da! No brainer. It's the semen. My flower petals smell beautiful because there's nobody putting a deposit in them. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Happiness is being content in your own company. Happiness is having people in your life that are happy that you're in their life. Happiness is knowing that life as a single woman is so joy-filled. We're the happiest women in the United States of America. We're the happiest people because we are in good company all the time within ourselves. So I'm learning how to tune in to my higher self again, and my guides, my angel, my guardian angel, and connecting more to my creator, God, my mother, father, God, the love and the joy of the universe of which I am part, and recognizing that we really do create hardships in our lives in order to grow, and that growing then allows us to nurture others. We can, as a wise woman now, I can help others grow. I don't require the spotlight anymore. I am a true advocate of other people in my life. I can support them with my love and my energy. Even my daughter, the distant one, who has been incapable of being present or answering her phone. So you have to let that go. Women who have had estranged daughters or daughters who have distanced themselves, they came through you, you raised them, You had all those sleepless nights. You did everything you could to be the best mother that you could. You made plenty of mistakes, but you did a lot of things right too. And only with time will they see it. And it's not a personal affront to you that that individual is choosing not to be in your life. It's a reflection of their own pain, of their own necessary need for time to heal all that ails. Because there is one thing that's true, and it is that time and chance happen to us all. Yes, time goes by. It's been said that it's the great equalizer. I don't know if that's true. I would say to you, my audience, that we learn our lessons, and they don't lessen us, they expand us. We become more of our gifts, ourselves. And when we embrace the things that we have had to learn from, the challenges. And so the comparison and contrast, my miserable life when I was with a husband or a partner versus a glorious life without one, it's just wonderful. And so women who have never had, and I have a friend who's never had a loving man in her life, she recognizes through my conversations with her that a man does not solve your problems. He adds to them. And so when you get rid of one, it's this glorious. It's this glorious. So, yes, I bless all those couples who actually have found each other. But you know something? They've got their challenges. You might have a man and a woman that love each other and everything's hunky-dory, but they can't conceive. Or they have a child that has huge physical difficulties. So everybody has challenges. Mine just happen to be relationships. But there is life after the death I was experiencing in those relationships. And so single ladies unite, enjoy your life, and do what you can to provide guidance and love to those who are available to you, who are open to receive the love that you have for them. Okay, thank you.